Hey guys, Ashen Lord here. Welcome back to the channel. We are back with another Let's Play guide of the Elden Ring itself. And this Let's Play guide, I'm going to showcase you exactly how you can construct yourself an overpowered early on Battlemage build for you to enjoy in your first run into the Elden Ring itself. If you do like this content, do not hesitate to press the like, you comment down below and subscribe yourself to the channel. Let's be honest, more than half of you, ladies and gentlemen out there who are watching my content, is not subscribed to the channel itself. So as a young content creator, it does help me a lot with your form of support. So what you're going to see here, you're going to see not only where you can get yourself different form of overpowered end game gear sets. Now I'm talking about talismans, armors and weapons. And at the same time you're going to see yourself different form of boss battles, where you can loot those boss battles, how you can cheese those boss battles, how you can defeat them hand to hand and very early on and very easy. So you can loot them, farm them and level up at the same time as well. At the same time you're going to see how you can approach this game as well moving forward into the game itself. So by any means are necessary, like usual, if you do like this content, do not forget to press a like and comment down below. So let's start the stream, let's start the Let's Play guide of the Elden Ring itself. And I'm your host, the Ashen Lord, also known as the Memnon itself. Let's do this. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Let's do this. As you start the game, you're gonna have a select form of classes you can choose. The best class for you to choose if you want to play the Battlemage playstyles from the get-go is the Prisoner class. The Prisoner class has a well-balanced attribute points, that's dexterity and intelligence equal to 40. You have an abundance form of choices where starting gift you want. The best choice for you to choose is of course the Stonewood Key. If you want to play on the long run, plus the Stonewood Key is quite scarce to find. But if you want to level up very fast in the beginning of the game, then I'm going to take the Lance Between Rune. You proceed in constructing your character the way you want and you start the game moving forward to the game itself. I'll say take your time in constructing your character the way you want, because that's the identification of you playing forwards. As you play in the game, you're eventually going to fight the starting boss itself. You don't have to fight them, you don't have to win it, it doesn't matter. Eventually you will come in exactly the same points like everybody else. Once you're here, you're going to find yourself this grotto right here downstairs. If you're a newer player, I advise you to go down. This is going to teach you all the mechanics of the game itself, from countering, for blocking and for sneaking. So I advise you to go down and take your time understanding the mechanics. So the overland gameplay, you're going to find all these yellow trees here. Always explore them, because you're going to find yourself the earth seed. Those seed are necessary to increase your flask capacity. Those flask capacity is very important if you want to have certain form of more potions or more mana potions around you. For your survivability, it's quite very important. And with the Let's Play, you're going to find different form of seeds, and you're going to have an abundance of them in your very first playthrough. So sit back, relax, you're going to see how you can fill your flask very fast as well. Once you have the fingers, you take the elevator up, and you're going to walk yourself your very first step into Limgrave itself. Like usual, I always like to say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Limgrave and welcome to the Elden Ring. In this first part, we are going to try to find ourselves a military camp, or say a scavenger's camp. We need to access 3 checkpoints. The first one here on the hill, the second point is on the church a little bit further, and the third point is going to be on the military camp a little bit further on. The importance of that, because we're going to create an access and cutscene can give us a dialogue towards a very important NPC that we need to interact with. The NPC is going to give us our very first steed, our first possibility to level up as well, and to move a little bit more freely into the game itself. Into the military camp, we're going to find ourselves a map we need to take, a whetstone, ashes of war, and in the caravans you're going to find yourself a longsword and a bleed weapon. But those 2 weapons is not really necessary, but if you are there for the first time, I do advise you to explore them and to loot them, of course. Once you did all of that in this camp, you level up a little bit. I advise you to level up your vigor as high as possible. Our goal is to reach a point of 30 points into attribute points into vigor itself. Our very first step is to go southwards towards the Grave to the Weeping Peninsula. There we need to farm a new spell, a very important spell that we're gonna need if you want to cheese a boss to get the most overpowered early on Battlemage weapon that we can use, and this playthrough will refer it into the game itself. Keep following the road I'm showcasing you right now. Do I engage with any enemy out there, because in the beginning of the game you're still extremely squishy. Keep following south all the way to the path, and eventually you will get there. You are going to find yourself on the location that we are going towards in form of a scalp. Those golden scalps roaming the area itself. And the scalp itself of the bug, of the beetle, whatever you may call it, is the one we need to kill. These hold actually the key for us to have the poisoning spell ability. If you are here, don't forget to attack that beautiful lady out there to start your side quests as well, and take this caravan right here. Get yourself the Morning Star, a very important bleed weapon we're gonna use as well early on to the game to do little cheese metals. Over here as well, you're gonna find yourself another merchant, and you can sell yourself different form of gear sets if you want to change your styles a little bit, and of course different form of loots as well. We're gonna proceed moving southwards towards the castle. I'm gonna take first the map of the area of the Weeping Peninsula, and we're gonna take this golden seed here. As you can see, on every tree out there you're gonna find this golden seeds. Now we're gonna try to kill this golden scalp right there. Be very careful, because if you're pushing very close, he has a tendency to teleport himself. But if you have a ranged weapon, bow or anything, of any ranged spells, it becomes very, very easy for you. Once you're here, take this shield as well. It's not really necessary, but why not? Just take it. Now we're gonna proceed ourselves and opening the very first tower. This tower is gonna give us access towards a stone medallion. The stone medallion increases our magic slot capacity. So the more stone medallions we have, the more magic spells we can carry on. I just follow the path I'm showcasing right now. The doors towards the tower will be open, as you can see. Once you kill all those turtles, the door is gonna be open. You're gonna go all the way up. I'm gonna get yourself the memory stone. Once you have the memory stone, of course, we're gonna go back to the grave. Now we're gonna get ourselves a very important medallion into the game itself. A little bit late game in medallion, so we're gonna proceed moving towards this path I'm showcasing right now. It's gonna be more northeastwards to that location. We're gonna find ourselves on the map, and you're gonna find yourself a deep well, a form of underground dungeon you're gonna find. And to that dungeon we're gonna need to proceed forward to find ourselves the Marika Scar Seal, a very important medallion that gives us an increase in intelligence, faith, arcane, everything that has to do with magic is increased himself by 5 attribute points. Where the downside is as well an increase of damage taken, but all of that is not important. So we're gonna take the map right here, and I'm gonna go down this well right there, Sophia River Well. I'm gonna keep following the path all the way down until we reach our destination we want to reach. Once we're here, we're gonna find ourselves a map of the area to really open up the zone a little bit more and see, have an oversight what's going on. The map of the pillar, we're gonna find ourselves right here at the entrance of the boss area of the zone. We need to go to that location there. We're gonna find a form of a broken pillar. We're gonna climb on top of the broken pillar. And on top of it, you're gonna find the gates, and the gates is gonna warp us towards the North Room. And it is an end game area. If you follow the money and the Blade quest line, you eventually will come here. Why we coming here very early on? Because we are looking for the Marika Scar Seal. It's a very potent as talisman that increases everything that has to do with magic, faith, intelligence, arcane, etc. and etc. Our girl is gonna go to this Church of Marika, is gonna find itself in that position on the north side right there. But before we can go there, we're gonna go back to the Church of Elden, because we need to speak to a very important NPC that will spawn himself right there. That's the Witch Rani. The Witch Rani is one of the most important NPC moving forward into the end game itself. But the nice thing about her, if you meet her very early on, she will give you the spectral summoning bell. Thanks to that, you can have the opportunity and the possibility to summon different form of summonings. Other summonings you can find themselves across the game itself. From the side quests, you can get them from the side quests from NPCs, from mini bosses, from dungeons, and etc. and etc. From ever goals, and just name it. So we're gonna go back to the Mistwood outskirts, and we're gonna march ourselves more northwards, and there we're gonna find right here in this position. And we're gonna find the Third Church of Marika. The Third Church of Marika, we're gonna find is that a flask of wandering physics, and a nice alchemy kit, you could say it. Give you the opportunity to craft a form of potions that can boost your DPS, can boost your magic, your damage negation, just name it. The possibility are quite endless. Try to experiment, and most of them are truly that to boost your survivability into the game itself. So once we have the Secretary to boost our flask capacity itself, and the flask of wandering physics, walk yourself to these gates, and we're gonna go all the way down south of Khalid itself. Our goal is try to farm a little bit. We have a secondary talisman that we need to find that will help us increasing our attribute points another 5%. Better say about another 5 points. That talisman is the Radagon score seal. Do not mind this Knight Cavalier, we're gonna deal them much later on into the game itself, and I'll showcase you how you can cheese them quite early on after patch 104. First thing we need to do is take another tower, magic tower. Here we're gonna find another memory stone, and that memory stone will increase again our magic capacity, how much magic we can use. There's another thing in this zone you need to remember is that in this zone you can find quite a potent and easy farming methods. That is the boulder farming methods. You just make sure that the boulder falls away from the ravine itself, and it will give you around 2000 runes every single time. Now remember these spots, because it's going to be quite important for you if you want to level up to the stats I'm going to showcase you where you need to go towards to. It becomes quite overpowered into the game itself. So when we reach this point, don't forget about the Puritan Avatar. We're gonna deal with that boss as well later on during the Let's Play guide we showcase you. We're gonna activate this Side of Grace, and Melanie is gonna approach us for the second time herself. Deplete her dialogue, and she's gonna bring you, of course, to the round of the town, of the Round Table Hall. The Round Table Hall that we need to find yourself a merchant, and a merchant is going to sell us a finger seal. The finger seal is quite important because that gives us the opportunity to cast a form of faith abilities. And those faith abilities we're going to use because the spell that we found early on is a faith scaling ability. Once you're here, of course, try to talk to every single NPC in the area, learn the backstory of the game itself, and reach yourself to the Lord of the Elden Ring itself, and etc. etc. But the most importantly, come to this beautiful ladies here and buy yourself the skull seal. It's a form of a scissor, the finger seal, better say. Equip the finger seals. Of course, as you can see, we need 10 and faith, but we're gonna make a quick change to all of that. Nevertheless, equip it, and because we're gonna need it further on if you want to cheese a certain overpowered boss very early on to the game itself, so we can get his weapon early on to the game. So once we did all of that, we're gonna go back to the same zone we came for, the Forward's Fortress. This one is quite of a dangerous zone, Fort Faruth. Every NPC here is quite overpowered and overleveled compared to you, because you're quite in the beginning of the game. So do not engage them trying to run away as fast as possible. Climb at the top of the ladder, and you're gonna find yourself the Dectus medallion on the right side of it. Keep following the path I'm showcasing right now. Was in the area we're gonna go, we're gonna find ourselves the Radagon Soul Seal. Be careful of the rats in this zone here. Jump over here, there's a big rat and a little rat. Jump down, and take yourself the radical source heal. Wait until the rest comes. If you manage to go up, it's nice. Either way, dying is probably gonna be a thing here, so do not worry about it. Once you have it, of course, equip your radical soul seal. They will increase all of us as stats from vigor, endurance, strength, and dexterity. So to make sure we can use our morning blade or morning axe, whatever it is, or are we gonna do the dragon cheese method? By doing this, it's gonna give us around 80,000 wounds and 5 dragon hearts. The dragon hearts is not really important for us because we're not going for a faith build, but the most important is the 80,000 wounds, because that is gonna give us a good boost into the game itself. So find yourself in a position where you can do Estelle, we can do bleed damage, or you can go somewhere that you can find, let's say, his pelvis area, and you can do as well solid damage over there. There's another thing you need to remember: if you manage to kill him before, or better say, if you manage to respawn yourself the area before he completely disappears, there's a fraction of a second he can actually repeat killing this boss again. So you need to be extremely fast. The moment you're killing the very last blow, you take your mounts and you run as fast as possible to the closest side of Grace and you respawn the zone. If you are fast enough, you will be able to respawn the zone completely. Unfortunately for me, I wasn't fast enough, but it's really is very tricky. So when we did all of that, we're gonna level up first of all our vigor as high as possible. I put our intelligence 20 is more than enough. I put 60 points dexterity because of the weapons you will find left to right moving forward into the game. Like for example, a crossbow, you're gonna need some form of dexterity level. Strength, we're gonna increase that all the way to 34. So we don't need to use the radical soul seal anymore moving forward into the game, because you will find an abundant form of talisman which really gonna boost your DPS moving forward to the game. So for the moment, we're gonna use the radical soul seal. You can switch to your radical soul seal, it really depends on you. We're gonna go to these two positions right here. These two positions, we're gonna open up the zone map, and the third position is where we actually need to go to find the weapons and the gear set that we are looking for first of all into the game, and a magic spell that are quite potent, that will truly gonna make us very overpowered early on to the game. So keep following the path I'm showcasing you right now, and of course, like usual, be careful in the area you are venturing for, because every single thing here is quite overpowered. If you march yourself all the way down to the lake here of Wrath, the swamp area, you're gonna find yourself a merchant, and these are the rooms where we need to go. I advise you not to cross the swamp area straight, because you're gonna find yourself an enemy. She's gonna spawn himself, she calls herself Millicent. She's quite a nasty invader that can find early on to the game itself, and if you're not careful enough, she will one-shot you. So we're gonna find another way around. The moment you deal with a beetle, move all the way to the opposite side of the swamp, the southern area. You're gonna find yourself a merchant here. He's selling you, of course, the form of armor sets, and of course another map that truly gonna open up the entire zone. We'll be coming here much later, because there's a dragon here in the area we're gonna kill later on to farm his runes. Our goal is to go towards that gate over there. The closest checkpoint that we're gonna need is right here. Remember this checkpoint as well, because we're gonna be hopping down here as well. We're gonna go all the way south. I'm gonna take a detour so we will arrive to the backside of the swamp area itself. And in the swamp area is another boss you can find as well. We're gonna deal with him later on. This commander Neil is gonna find himself right here on the left side. But we need to go first on the opposite side that we are right now. Let's go somewhere right there. There we're gonna find the rune that we showcased you just before, and here we're gonna find, of course, the perfume sets, and the meteor spell, and the meteor staff that we need. That's the 3 equipment that we need early on, and it's really gonna solidify us a form of a Battlemage. We're gonna find a much better armor set than this, so we're gonna, it's good enough for now. We're gonna go all the way towards the most, let's say the most south. You're gonna find another broken tower, some plants guarding it, and a dead body, and then you're gonna find the meteor staff. Run away as fast as you can back to the site of grace, and or just, if you're far enough, just teleport you away from this zone. So we need to go first to the side of River Well, because here we're gonna make sure we can increase our flask of running physics. Because we have the weapon now, we have the gear sets, and it's an okay gear set. Now we're gonna increase the capacity of a flask of running physics. We're gonna find different form of earth trees moving into the game itself. Very early on, we're gonna find to the game is in this position, the minor earth tree. You're gonna find yourself a cracked tier that will increase our stamina output if you drink the potions and you mix it on your flask of running spirits. The second point that we're gonna go is gonna go more south of Limgrave itself. You can see the big tree on the map right there. We're gonna go on that position. Make sure you have your flask of running physics nice equipped. You make your flask balanced to more health, magic, or more magic than health, depends how you want to engage this boss fights. I'm gonna go all the way south to the yellow tree over there, and you're gonna find yourself an earth tree boss. By defeating him, he's gonna give us another talisman, or better say another minor tier, and a minor tier is gonna boost our damage negation. It can give us a certain form of a bubble around us, and when you consume it with a wandering physics, if any boss of any enemy hits us, first he's gonna damage the shield around us, and then us afterwards, of course, if he hits us a second time. So quite an important one if you are struggling and you don't know the mechanics of the game, and you just generally just struggling, is a quite a nice wandering physic tier to have early on to the game itself. So when you have it, we're gonna go all the way north back to Limgrave itself. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna go to the Castle Morn. Within the Castle Morn, you're gonna find yourself the left side of the Medallion of Dictus itself. As you can see, the open bubble bear significantly decrease our damage negation. By doing so, this is gonna give us access towards an elevator, the Dictus elevator we're gonna find later on into the game, passing the Lake of Lunaria all the way to the Altar's Plateau. So it is very important we found the left side as well. The right side we found the Khalid, the left side we're gonna find here Limgrave itself. Never forget, every single time you find yourself an earth tree, the yellow earth tree, always go around it, take the seeds, because that increase the capacity of your flask. There's a lot of enemies in this area, so be very, very careful, take your time, defeat them all. And you're gonna march yourself on top of the tower, you're gonna find yourself a chest in there, and there you're gonna find yourself to the left side of the Dictus medallion. So after you deal with this small little mini boss, and you got his loot, the blood veil, quite important ability to have. You have the left side of the Dictus medallion. We're gonna go back to Limgrave, to the gate itself, and our goal is to go all the way north to the gates. the direction that we need to go towards the Stormfair Castle. It's gonna find a hidden path itself just under the bridge itself on the left side, and it's gonna bring us all the way here in this area right here. It is the Lunar Lake and the entrance of the Altus Plateau as well. Once you're going to press the gate, watch out for the dragon, let's say the giant upstairs there. He's gonna trap himself. You don't need to engage all of them and try to pass him. Just gallop or run as fast as possible with your horse. On the end of this path, you're gonna find yourself another small earth tree, OC ticket, and another lady in this Swiss here, and a stonewood key as well. Deplete her dialogue. She's gonna give you another summoning. Mark your path north to this path that I told you before. Just keep following the path right here, and all the way you're gonna go to the entrance of the Lake of Lunaria itself. And once you are on the Lake of Lunaria, you're gonna find yourself in a cemetery. Some different form of NPCs gonna spawn here. Most importantly, skeletons. Get the scroll itself, gonna give you some form of new abilities into the game. So if you find yourself a merchant that is, say a teacher that is magic based, you can learn his abilities. On the end of the road, at the beginning of the lake, you're gonna find yourself a merchant there, sell another gear sets, and we need to go. Usually, we're gonna try to open up the map of the game itself. That's the very first map you're gonna find literally in the entrance of the lake itself. Keep following the path, and moving forward, you're gonna find yourself a stream and another sacred grace. Take the sacred grace, and we're gonna need to go and find yourself a certain form of an altar. And this altar is gonna become quite important because those altars have a certain form of gates. We're gonna give us a teleportation to the other zone of the map itself. Thanks to that, will give us a little more of flexibility and a more faster way to move around the map. So the first gate, we're gonna take this, and it's gonna bring us to the entrance of the Academy of Lunaria. The Academy of Lunaria, we're gonna explore it, of course, during this stream as well. So we're gonna go first right there. Take the side of grace. Once we have that, we're gonna go to the second area of the map to open up the midsection of the map itself. It's gonna find some right here. During our path, we're gonna find another earth tree, a yellow earth tree. Take the cedar out of it and move yourself towards the position on the map I showcased you right now. Now we're gonna go to our second altar. Now we're gonna find ourselves another gate, and that gate is gonna teleport us to the opposite side of the map and close to Rani's, let's say, sanctuary of this game. There we're gonna find ourselves a blacksmith, and the blacksmith sells a form of sombering smithing stones, and those sombering smithing stones we are gonna need to level up our weapon of choice in this Let's Play. If you come here, do not worry, there is an invisible wall. Just hit it, pass it, and talk to this beautiful gentleman here. Just double back, go down the ravine here, right here, and on the opposite side, just hug the wall. You're gonna find yourself a hidden hand right there. Just be careful. Take that seed over there. That's an intelligent nut tier. This increases your intelligence the moment you mix it with your flask wandering physics. Keep following the path to the narrow path of the ravine itself. On the end of the ravine, you're gonna find yourself another small earth tree. Very important, you take that as well to increase our flask capacity. And then we're gonna double back, and we're gonna go all the way uphill, to be precise, right here on the right side. And then we're gonna find another church, and then it's gonna be our entrance towards the Altus Plateau. Of course, don't forget to take all the side of grace, because afterwards you're gonna need to adventure moving forward. It's quite a unique dungeon moving forward in that area as well. Unique boss with a unique loot waiting for you. So talk to these merchants, you sell yourself different loot as well. Don't forget to take the sacred there, and if it's church you can find it. Do not cross in the mid area because there's an ambush waiting for you in that plain field. Hug the wall as much as possible, like I'm showcasing you right now. Once you passed it, You're gonna find a stair. On the right side, you're gonna find yourself the secret tier. Once you did that, you consume all your runes you have so far. You try to level up your strength as high as possible, your vigor as high as possible, and your endurance as high as possible. I'm gonna showcase you in an instant why exactly you need to have involved leveling up moving forward into the game. Well, because we have the 2 Dictus medallion, now we can have an access towards the Altus Plateau. Well, we need to go more northwards of this area itself. What we're going to look now is we're going towards the weapon of choice that we want into the game itself. Keep following the path. Don't forget to take the Earth Seed on the side of Grace. We passed there. Keep following the path. Take all the secret side of Grace. If something happens, you don't have to redo all the zone again. Once again, don't forget to take that Earth Seed on the yellow tree, small tree over there. Of course, we all took this before, coming here all the space, so that's why we're not going there again. Take this side of Grace, and you keep moving forward, keep following the path. First lava area, you're gonna find yourself a boss. Do not engage with them, just hug the wall on your right side. You hug the wall on the right side again, because on the left side is an ambush. And you take yourself all these runes here, and you a little bit further on, keep hugging, keep galloping. The bear is gonna jump on you, and on the right side here you're gonna find a side of Grace and then crossbow. Take that crossbow, that's very important if you have some form of a range ability as well. And I keep following past the village. On the left side you're gonna find yourself a very legendary, a very potent spell, the Asura Comets. It requires you to have 60 points intelligence for you to be able to equip it properly. And then you're gonna keep following the path, and like I'm showcasing you right now, just literally keep following the path. You take your left, watch out, an enemy is gonna drop down here. First same enemy you fought at the beginning of the game itself. Yeah, you walk all the way out of the stairs, and you take your left side. On the top of this stair you're gonna find yourself another vendor, and it's going to sell to you and Confessor armor sets. Quite a unique armor set. I absolutely love it. The digger as well, and the form of arrows, so you can find into the game itself. You keep following the path all the way to reach the top. You're going to drop yourself from a very small ledge. You're going to take a left side from here, cross this bridge, activate this side of Grace, and on top of this side of Grace you're going to find yourself a unique boss. This one we need to cheese. If you gallop, you come behind here, make sure you jump on this stone area, because this boss is an area zone boss. So the moment you enter his zone of combat, he's going to engage you. So we're gonna hug the wall, better say hug the mountain as much as possible. We're gonna come all the way behind him, and then we're gonna use our poison to cheese him ascend. So make sure that we kill him much easier. I'll just keep going there. Take your time, nice and easy. It might take you 1 or 2 tries, but it's not impossible. Once we reach just behind him, you equip your poison. That's what we need is our finger seal and our poison. So we're just gonna deal poison until he's dead. It's gonna take you quite some time, so I advise you to watch some YouTube videos, another guide of mine for my let's play walkthrough, another tip and trick, build videos, just name it. Enjoy yourself, get to know me better. Come and say hi to me on Discord or on Instagram or on Twitch or all this stuff. But either way, it's gonna take you quite some time, so before you kill him, I'll say in 5 to 10 minutes. What you do is you're gonna get yourself a very potent weapon into the game itself, a linear weapon that can bring you all the way to end game and beyond itself. A very, very strong weapon. I'm gonna showcase you how strong it is even early on to the game itself. So after we defeat him, we're gonna go do some leveling from different form of bosses into the game itself. Very early on, very easy. From Morgrits, from Godfrey, from different form of dragons, from different form of overpowered Earthries. So when we have all of this, we're gonna go to the Volcano Manor, and we're gonna increase our attribute points as much as possible. what I'm showcasing you right now is the stats you will eventually need to have by the end of the let's play and the guides of leveling yourself up. Now we're gonna proceed ourselves killing different form of bosses itself, and so we make sure that you have these stats moving forward in the game itself. And also the Arsenal Charm Seal and a Radagon Soul Seal. At this point I would advise you first of all go to Church of Elden, you buy yourself your crafting kits, you buy yourself everything that you need, the crafting kits, the cookbooks, the binoculars, let's just name it itself, because now we're gonna really gonna try to farm the game itself, and so you can reach the stats I showcased you just before. And the most important thing is you have yourself some food of your horse, because a lot of combats we're gonna do right now is gonna be based on your horse combats. The very first NPC we're gonna take care of course, is gonna be a dragon you're gonna find yourself on the Khalid itself, on the bridge itself, next to the Beastum Sanctuary, just at the end of it. We're gonna take care of that dragon itself, and by doing so he's gonna give us 80,000 runes moving forward into the game itself. He's not extremely difficult. That's gonna take you a few rounds, so I advise you to make sure you have your Flask Wandering Physic well equipped. Having Flask Wandering Physic increase your stamina, or for example your damage negation. All those stuff we already achieved it by now. Have them nice and ready. Make sure you have a lot of health, more health than magic in this boss fight, because we're gonna do more bleed damage. That's the most important part of it we're gonna do. So the choice is gonna be what you want to do, or you even gonna use take your green spell tier out, and you can for example increase your boost of intelligence if you truly want to have use your rock slinging ability. The choice is yours, but I'm going to showcase you can beat them as well with your bleed damage. It's quite early on, it's quite easy. Once you do that, once again it's really going to take you a few runs, so be careful of his mechanic. One thing you need to remember, when he stomps his feet he creates like an area effect. One thing I always found quite important, that quite way to cheese that, is to make sure I'm on the opposite side of the other leg. One way or another, and he doesn't, his area effect doesn't hit me. After many hits, I'm gonna do a bleed damage, I'm gonna stagger him, and I'm gonna do a visual attack on him. He has a tendency to sweep his tail as well, but I also find if I'm finding myself in approximately in the middle of his torso, and I gallop myself forwards, his tail is never gonna reach me, so I can always gallop around him when he's turning, like I'm showcasing over time. Another thing is when he's spewing in the air as well, he has a tendency always to spew on the right side, if I'm looking towards him. His left, my right. And these are small little mechanics that the boss's health. When he did all of that, man, I kill him of course quite easy. The goal is always simple. We try to increase our stats as high as possible, so we don't need to use the Radagon Soul Seal towards the end game itself. So we're gonna try to increase our figure, try to increase our endurance to 30 and increase our strength to 34, so we can wield the weapon that we need to wield in a proper way, and increase our figure to 40 as well. Intelligence can stay 20 at this point, and of course dexterity is going to be based on the secondary weapon that you choose. For example the crossbow, whatever you want, if you don't need it, yeah, keep your dexterity at 16. Maybe you're gonna find another weapon that is quite interesting. The second boss we're gonna need to take care of is the Commander O'Neill itself. Therefore we need to go back to Khalid, to the Storm Gates, where we found our weapons, our the skill sets, and the meteor staff itself. You can go towards the swamp area, the same path I showcased you before, or you can just teleport you towards the swamp area itself, because it's literally on the entrance itself of the swamp itself, on the left side itself, right there. So by entering the zone you're gonna activate the boss, and we're gonna need to bring him outside of this geyser here. And by doing so we're gonna make sure that the geyser, the poison of the geyser itself is gonna do damage towards the boss itself. So we're gonna use the field and our advantage. That's the only cheese method I know of that's quite potent and quite easy to do, because this boss is quite brutal if you don't know the mechanics and you are early on to the game itself. So take your time, use the geyser around him until he's dead, and farm his runes. Once we kill Khalid, we're gonna level up a little bit more, and we're gonna go back to Khalid itself and the entrance of the stone gate. There we're gonna find another dragon. Same concept as well. We just make sure we make quick work of him. And be careful of this dragon, because he deals a lot of rot poisoning. So be aware of his AoE effects around him. Moments you understand a little bit of a movement sense. Well, moment he stomped with his leg, he does in form of an earth rot effect around you. For the rest of the tricks he has, of course, is spew wrath all around the playing field, and the only thing you can do is try to run away from it, because wrath ticks extremely hard, and yeah, it will one shot you very quickly. Just it will take you a few tries and a few efforts, of course, to really understand how to deal with this dragon, but it's not impossible, as you can see. Even though I'm speeding it up a little bit more, it's quite easy. With a bleed weapon, we create a lot of bleed damage and make quick work of him. So now we're gonna go all the way north of the map of Lake of Lunaria. You're gonna find yourself another Earth tree. Keep following the path I'm showcasing right now. You're gonna go and find this Earth tree avatar. By doing so, you're gonna give us another Earth tree here, and this Earth tree 3 boosts our magic outputs, and we equip it. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna make sure we can enter the Academy of Lunaria itself. What we need to do, we need to challenge a dragon right here on the map I showcase you right now. By coming at this position, you're gonna find yourself a dragon. This dragon, when you deal with him, he will be guarding the Stonewood key, the Academy key. By having these Academy key, you can give us access towards the Academy temple itself, or school. But before we go there, we're gonna level up a little bit more. I'm gonna showcase you another cheese method how to deal with the Night Cavalier. The moment you taunt him, you make sure you bring him to this position right here. The goal is for him to come just under on the right side of this branch here. It's gonna take you a free try because he's a little bit stubborn. So every single time he runs away, we're going to taunt him again to bring him right here on this branch here. Just be very careful to make sure he comes right there, almost there, perfect. The moment he's there, you're gonna drop down right here, and you make sure he's he did us a favor, he lived a little bit more forward. The only thing you need to do right now is to taunt him, do a little spell, and he's gonna drop himself on his own. And that's it. By doing so, you're gonna get for yourself 40,000 runes for you to spend again. Give it a little bit more of an edge, and it's only we're going to proceed right now. Once again, we're gonna pump a lot more into strength, because our goal is right now to make sure that we don't use the radical soul seal towards the end game itself, because we have a lot of potent talisman you will find into the game itself. So I would advise you to make sure that your weapon that you equip, you are well equipped by it. So you have 34 points into strength itself, and you don't need the radical soul seal to equip it. But before we can go there, of course, we're gonna challenge Margaret and see what we have right now into the game itself, and see how potent our build is. By killing Margaret, he will give us a second poach, and we're gonna need that because we're gonna need a second talisman. Once we kill Margaret, you go to the Academy of Lunaria. You enter it, you just follow the path, and it will lead you towards this boss here, the Red Wolf of Radagon. We're gonna make quick work of this boss itself. By doing so, he can give us a chunk of souls for us to spend again, and he's gonna give us, of course, a memory stone. When we go out, we're gonna take a first right here. We're gonna go all the way up. We're gonna looking for a second talisman that we need, and the vertical icon. We're gonna find itself right here on this stage here. This shortens our spell abilities that we use. So what we do right now, we need a shield. We need a better shield. So we're gonna go all the way up. Take this ledge here. Watch out for the boulders. And I'm gonna go all the way up again. And you're gonna find yourself a knights, a Carian knights. We're gonna challenge him. When he kill him, he's gonna drop himself the Carian shield itself. The entire road map I'm showcasing you is quite easy to find into the game itself. When you enter the Academy of Lunaria, just keep following your path. You will literally come to the area right now. So it's really unnecessary for me to showcase you entire map of this zone, because it's literally, it's plug and play. Just be careful. He has a very nasty cleave attack where there's a magic sword there, so take your time, try to bait him. Once you do, try to execute him. So when we do, we're gonna get ourselves a new shield, but now we need the gear sets. So by coming back to the checkpoint I showcase you right now, the school area, follow the path I'm showcasing you. I'm gonna drop down a ledge, and there we're gonna find the Carian Knight's armor set. I find it personally one of the best looking armor set in form of a Battlemage playstyles you can play early on to the game itself. Once you do, clear this map, clear the zone. So once we did all of that, we're gonna go back to Stormfair Castle, and we're gonna challenge Godfrey the Crafted. We need to challenge Godfrey the Crafted for two simplistic reasons. First of all, for his Great Rune. His Great Rune gives us a boost of our attribute points. And second of all, we're gonna find out an NPC in this area itself. By engaging with her and helping her in this zone, she's gonna give us the Arsenal Charm. The Arsenal Charm is gonna decrease our armor capacity, so we're gonna need that if you want to avoid fat rolling, because having this armor set that we are having right now, we are massively overloaded. Even though I'm speed running this, trust me, I'm very overloaded. Don't forget to follow the path on showcase right here. Take these stairs up, and on top of the stairs you're gonna find yourself the cloth talisman. It boosts your jump attacks every single time you're trying to jump and attack. So it's very important talisman if you truly want to increase your DPS in form of a melee combat. So jumps really increases your form of visceral attacks and stagger your enemy much faster. You enter the site of Grace, you follow the path I'm showcasing right now. A little bit further you're gonna find our NPC that we're looking for, Nafere Loom. Deplete her dialogue so you become friends with her. Once you depleted the dialogue, you take your left, you follow the elevator up with your up, and just keep following your path. You're going to find yourself on the opposite side of Neferi Loom and straight to the boss area itself. The reason I brought you in this path, because if you follow your path right, you're going to find yourself a giant, and it can be quite of an annoying situation for you to deal. And this Godfrey is quite of a challenging boss. He has different mechanics, fire mechanics, and he has a very nasty swirling attack that can one-shot you if you're not careful. But of course for us, we are quite overpowered right now, so we are making the best of our abilities and the gear set we have. Even though we are very heavy, as you can see, we can kill the boss quite early. Thanks to the weapon that we have, we can do range damage, and of course we can do melee damage as well. When you defeat Godfrey, you go to the tower of Godfrey itself, or Stormfair Castle. You can find it in the same zone, and you get yourself a Gate Runes of Godfrey itself. These Gate Runes increase your attribute points of all your skills. It's quite an important one if you have early on to the game, which will give you a little more of a boost itself. In my channel you're gonna find yourself a very different guide itself, where you can find all the Great Runes and tower itself and how you can approach them very early on. So now we're gonna go towards the last bosses of the game itself. It's gonna be the Puritan Avatar. The Puritan Avatar, you're gonna find it across the bridge where we fought the very first dragon, and of course the beast sanctuary itself. But there's a trick and this boss. By using the rock slinging ability, you need actually to count around 5 times. 5 rock slinging ability is shoot able to stagger your enemy and the Puritan Avatar. The moment he staggered himself, you approach him and you do your visual attack. And you keep rinse and repeating like that. You count 5 times, he will stagger himself and you do a visual attack. He has a very nasty cleave attack and having hitting attack, so do not approach him because he will one-shot you because you are not overpowered. You very early on to the game itself. It is a game of patience moving forward to the game. Once you did that, you get yourself a beautiful souls and beautiful runes for you to level up to the game. By this point, at the post point of the game itself, you are way beyond overpowered to deal with every single form of every single thing the game has to offer. And hopefully you guys did like this content. I know it's a little bit an extended guide I'm showcasing you right now, and I really want to bring you everything that I know about the game moving forward. Like usual, if you did like this content, do not forget to press a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. I'm your host, the Ashen Lord itself, also known as Memno, so welcome to my channel. If you want to know more about me, you can always hit me on Discord. So if you want to have any form of questions, hit me on Discord. I'm always there to answer your questions. It's always one love with me. Like usual, I will say thank you very much, and I'll see you all next time, and next guide, the next Let's Play of the Elden Ring itself. One love, always. Peace.